over to me.
Are your phones off, boys?
Yeah. Yes.
Off or silent?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Oh, are you at the room?
No, I'm still in the television studio.
Oh, all right.
Shall I read it out, or...? Yeah.
No introductions, no nothing. Okay, question 1.
When did you realise you were transgender?
Well, personally for myself, I realised at a young age,
Oh, when I was about 8 or 9.
but I didn't exactly know what that was.
I had a clown suit. It was made of silk. I was in the wartime, of course. I loved the feel of this clown suit. So there I was. I had no idea what was going on.
When I was about 19, I met a trans guy, and he sort of explained the whole thing to me, and I was like, yep, everything you're saying right there, that's me to a T.
And so I first met the sister girl community, Aboriginal transgender women, and I went into that community identifying as, you know, as a gay man, but perhaps a gay man that where that box and that label wasn't really fitting.
For me, it was a lot of body envy and just finding yourself kind of looking and coveting, but not in like any sort of desiring sexual way.
I'm a gynecologist. That is, I'm a specialist in women's health. I wonder why I aimed for a specialty dealing with women. Can you guess the answer to that one?
There was something deeply uncomfortable in the way I was received in the world, and that other people were having something that would be much more comfortable.
Well, I thought I'd better go and see the psychiatrist about this. I thought I was in a bit of trouble. Oh, he said, don't worry, my boy. You'll grow up. Go and get married and have some children. And that's what I did.
There was a lot of denial, a heap of denial.
You have to look after the wife, you have to look after the kids, and there's no way out.
But I always knew there was something different about me.
You don't know that there's a possibility of something else, but you know that this doesn't quite fit.
And then, like, the penny dropped. I was like, I guess I'm trans.
Did you try and suppress it?
Of course I tried to suppress it. Speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Did you try to be a lady for a while?
I did try to be a lady for a while.
Did you succeed?
I passed very well as a lady, actually, thank you.
But it wasn't until I was about 68 or so that I finally decided I had to do something about this before I actually got too old.
You know, you've got to understand that I grew up in, you know, rural Victoria in the 90s, where it was incredibly homophobic and incredibly violent, and I was very isolated.
Well, because you're terrified of everybody. Terrified of people knowing, terrified of the cops used to drive me crazy with fear. I was terrified of cops.
There was a range of things to be scared of, and it went from the littlest things of, you know, getting approached in the street and people calling you names.
Men coming up to me and, like, they would see me and they would lose it. Total breakdown in the middle of the street and going, no, you just can't do that, you're not allowed, you can't be that way.
Right up into that fear of being killed, being bashed, being raped, having your friends, your family, everyone around you disown you, not getting a job because of the way you look, getting fired because people found out you were trans.
Well, I actually got flung out of my hospital. Should I say it on camera? Maybe I shouldn't. This is a strange character who used to be a guy, who's now a lady. Do we really want to have her or it?
There is a lot of negativity towards girls like me, and yeah, it needs to change.
Obviously, we've been on hormones for long enough now. Luckily, we, you know, do pass to society or whatever.
So it's passing as male or passing as
female.
But I think it's about that raw part of yourself, who you really are, that I think our society represses.
Things are changing a lot, but there's still a very long way to go.
You know, and it is amazing to watch that people can come out now and actually feel a lot safer about what they're doing.
We can be whoever we want to be. We can do whatever we want to do. Just be yourself, and you'll be all right.
Oh, this one's my favourite.
Oh, God. Do you really have to ask a silly thing? Which toilet do you use?
Which toilets do you use?
I kind of love this question. Because I don't know.
Well, which toilet do you think I would use?
That question really shits me, in the sense, unfortunately, that's probably...
just stupid.
That, and it's probably normally asked to people that unfortunately are quite early on in their transition.
Every time I go to the toilet in a public space, it's like massively anxiety inducing.
Sometimes you're like, do I go into the men's toilets? Actually, I could experience violence there If I go into the women's toilets, I could potentially experience, verbal abuse.
But most of the time it's just a look. It's very recognisable. They'll walk in and go like...
Some people stand at the urinal.
Kudos to them. I tell you what.
Piss all over myself. You can get this thing that's called a STP, or stand-to-piss device, which is basically a prosthetic penis with some kind of cup that like catches it, and you're like...
And sometimes it doesn't catch it.
Yeah, most of the time
sometimes
it
your
doesn't
leg
catch it.
catches it.
In places that I don't know and that I don't feel safe, I try and use disabled toilets because they're, gender neutral.
One time I was walking in and a cleaner put their hand up in my face and was just like, stop. This is the ladies' toilets.
When I just came out to my family when I was 17 years old, I remember one of my nieces actually saying we were in the toilet, I'd gone to the toilet, and she goes, "That's my uncle in there," which was quite funny at this time.
I think there's still a fear though. Like,
Absolutely.
Every time you walk into a cubicle, there's that fear of someone's going to turn around and be like, "Why are you sitting down?"
Yeah, definitely.
Why is there a
Have you fallen
tampon?
asleep? Why is there a tampon in the men's bathroom?
Are you a drag queen?
Who comes up to these questions?
Of course I am. These are all fake. Okay, I'll just take my hair off now and take my breasts out.
Do I look like a drag queen? Do you know what a drag queen looks like?
One is clothes and how you feel in
Well,
that
one is
given-
putting on a dress, and at the end of the night, you go home and you're still a dude. And one is you put on a dress and you feel like a woman and you keep that dress on because you're a woman.
People are constantly misgendering me, and I'm like, darling, I do not put in this much effort to get called he.
You're basically implying that that person is donning a costume.
You know, a drag queen is a character. You know, this is not a character. This is who I am. This is how I live.
Because it's not a performance. It's not a costume. It's a life.
When I put on a dress,
When
I'm
I
a
put
drag
on a
queen.
dress, I'm a drag queen. Exactly.
When I get up in the morning and put on my clothes,
I'm
no.
just a boy.
I'm just myself.
Yeah.
So my next question is, do hormones mess you up?
That's a very scientific term, isn't it? Mess you up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they mess you up. They make you like a hot mess.
I've been on testosterone for 3.5 months, and I haven't really been like messed up at all. I haven't really had any side effects.
You don't have one shot and go, I'm different, I'm this, I'm that, my balls have dropped and everything. No, but mentally, look, yeah, it does throw your hormones out a bit.
I grew up in what I'd consider as quite a hippie and alternative family where we didn't necessarily trust the medical industry, and I'm not on hormones, and I don't intend to take hormones.
Yeah, the tablets I was on at the time, they weren't very good, which are now a banned tablet. So they didn't actually make you feel very good, and they had a couple of bad side effects as well.
You talk to guys who've got low testosterone, they're in a real mess. You know, they have no energy, no oomph, no decisiveness. And the same thing happens to people in transition. The morning glories disappear, don't they?
I actually started testosterone before I told my family. So I don't think I had enjoyed my initial changes as much as I otherwise would have.
I think when you first start, it's sort of up and down, and you don't really know what you're doing, and some people do go a little bit crazy.
I felt dislocated. I wasn't a guy anymore. I wasn't really a girl either, and it felt just very frightening.
I express my gender identity through clothes, through makeup, through, my skin name. I express it through my pronouns, and I love those things.
The hot mess question, I like that one.
Have you had this surgery?
Negative.
No, I'm completely all natural.
That's a disgusting question to ask anybody. That is really such a naff thing to do.
Just tell me what's in your pants. I want to know. I'm allowed to know what's in your
Can you
pants.
show me?
It's a put down in some ways, because some trans people don't have surgery.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of surgery.
No, I've had heaps of surgery. I've had people walk past me in the street and say, "What part of you isn't natural?" And I've said, "It's all fake from head to toe."
When you're asking about the surgery, there's no one given surgery. Not everyone can kind of unveil themselves like Caitlyn Jenner can.
I'm assuming you're talking about what we call bottom surgery.
They slice it and they dice it and they shove it all back in there.
you can get new bits, and I don't know if they get feeling.
They do get feeling. I wouldn't just be like, here, take 100K and give me a penis that I can't feel. You can go to a sex shop and do that for 180 bucks.
No, I haven't. Phalloplasty, I have no connection with that. It's not a big point of dysphoria for me.
I don't even know if they do it in Australia.
They don't.
They don't? You looked into it?
Yep.
But trans women also need to have, a lot of us need to have breast augmentation. For me, for example, I grew about a B or a C size breasts. I'm a big girl, and a B or a C size breast on me looks a bit underdone.
Well, they're nearly as big as I want. I'm hoping to get them made bigger in the future. These ones have only just been done 4 weeks ago. They're 2 litres each implant.
You know, there's different kinds of chest surgeries you can get.
And that would be awesome because binders hurt and they're hot and they suck.
Just think of like a dirty nylon singlet that's 1,000 sizes too small and you cannot breathe.
I have massive back problems as a result of it, but not wearing it is not an option.
And once you get surgery, you can breathe again.
You never have
you
to
can
wear a binder.
exercise again.
That's it.
You can live your life. You can run around with a shirt off.
After I had my lower surgery, I didn't feel particularly more feminine or anything. But after I had my breast augmentation, I immediately felt extraordinarily more feminine. And it took me by surprise.
When I had these ones done, I looked at them and I thought, okay, we're getting somewhere now. They're a big size, but I would like them to be bigger.
Next question? Right.
What's it like experiencing both genders?
Well, I feel quite privileged, actually.
The most remarkable thing that comes to mind is like a actual hands-on experience of male privilege.
Guys have got a certain freedom, which you don't really have as a woman.
You know when you walk down the street at night and you're like walking and there's a woman in front of you and she's checking over her shoulder?
It's like, don't worry,
You just
I
wanna
used
say,
to
it's
be
fine,
one."
it's fine, like nothing's gonna happen, it's fine.
Your facial expression is like not a commodity. You can be as like frowny and loud as you like. Assertiveness is rewarded.
A guy will go, do it, do it.
You just give them more space to speak.
I make more money as a dude.
Yep.
I get treated way better as a dude.
You get written off. Get written off constantly. I remember going to my first medical conference. I saw a group of guys in a little huddle chatting away, so I walked up to them and they turned around and looked at me and said, oh, hello, Rosie, and turned back again. The immediate shutout.
It's a hard thing to say whether you look back on it's a good thing to kind of experience both genders, because as female, I never saw the good thing. I never saw it as a, you know, an overly thrilling experience being a woman.
But even when I identified, you know, as a man, there were always feminine qualities.
They talk about that you've always been this gender from the start, and you're just correcting it or confirming it.
And I never actually fit into really, I guess, experiencing what people might see as male privilege, because I was always quite queer.
Actually, let's be honest, no one really understands how women work, but if anyone's gonna understand it more than the average bloke, I would say it could be a trans dude.
Does changing gender change your sexuality?
Yes, it does and has.
Absolutely not. Two entirely separate things.
I saw myself as, you know, as homosexual. And then all of a sudden when I changed my, you know, realised that my gender identity had shifted and I was identifying as trans, what did that mean?
Technically, I went from being a lesbian to a straight dude, so yes.
Technically, yes.
On a technicality, but I still like women.
That relationship's no longer, you know, homosexual. You know, and so what is it? Is that heterosexual? And then there was like, oh my God!
Because sexuality is who you're attracted to, which is not dependent on what your gender expression is. I mean, it might be linked.
And what happened to you, Oliver?
To be honest, I've only ever really identified as a lesbian when I was identifying as a female, but with that said, when I started hormones, I definitely felt a slight shift.
A lot of transsexuals, they eventually get their lower surgery, they get a vagina, and they think, oh, well, should I take my new toy out for a bit of a test run? See if I can find a nice guy with a nice hard-on.
Yeah, my attraction to women never changed. It never dimmered. But I definitely had a slight shift into more maybe
Say it. Say it.
bisexual realm.
I live in Alice Springs. The most significant challenge for me living in Alice Springs is that it's really hard to find a relationship. And I want to be clear that people are attracted to me.
The guys look at me and they like me and they like to talk to me and they want to have something to do with me.
But they're afraid to follow that through because it's a small community and because of the stigmas around dating trans people.
Am I now a straight woman? I don't know. No, I think I'm a bit of each now.
And since identifying as trans and gender diverse, I've been travelling to conferences and events across Australia where some of the, leading trans and gender diverse advocates are speaking. And then all of a sudden I've been like, hello.
How did you choose your new name?
Oh, new name.
Your new name.
My new name.
Well, I'm not sure if I should say this one.
Well, I have to tell you guys, there's nothing new about my name. I was at boarding school and the headmaster, who was a whiskey man, he was a drunk, actually, terrible man, had this totally delectable young lady who was our age.
There was a girl who I heard about at school who did flash her breasts, and her name was Kelly or Kellyanne.
Alabaster skin, dark hair, beautiful, beautiful girl.
And yeah, that's one of the reasons I chose this name.
All the boys at school wanted to get in her pants. I just wanted to be her, and her name was Rosemary.
I don't know how proud she would be of that. Might be something she keeps private, but it's not very private now, Kellyanne.
Well, I had this interim name, which was Casca, because it was more, what's the word? Androgynous.
I'd just been in the Melbourne Magistrates Court. I'd been beaten up by homophobes, but the magistrate basically said that if Joe Blow saw me walking down the street dressed like that, he'd say that I deserved it. And I only got $2,000, which was a fraction of what I should have got.
Yeah, I got to the point where I wanted a more masculine name. This is kind of a silly reason. I sort of resent this reason, but it was so ambiguous that people were still obviously confused.
But I walked out of that court and I was so mad, and so I decided that I was going to take that $2,000 and I was going to turn myself into one of the most colourful and fabulous people that the country has ever seen.
Now people just assume, oh, Harvey, Mister. Whereas Casca was like, oh, what's your, we don't know what you are.
But I had this armful of fabulous fabrics and jewels and sequins. The clouds parted and this ray of sunlight came down and hit my pile. In the middle of the pile of all my stuff that I was carrying was this Diamante star tiara, and it just sparkled. And then I was like, that's my name. My name is Star.
What does it cost to transition?
A fortune.
You could take that so many ways.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that they mean money-wise.
I think they're talking about the snip.
Yeah, I've spent quite a bit of money on my on my breast and also my full surgery as well.
Well, when I transitioned, it was about $14,000. I think it's now about 22 or so.
And then phalloplasty, if you ever choose to go down that route, that's heaps more again.
Could have spent around about $200,000 on my, up to $250,000.
The other costs are consulting costs.
Your doctor's appointments to start with.
200 and something a pop.
Yeah, and that's just for one.
Yeah.
So you've got a psych, you have to see the psych.
The GP to see the psych.
I had to change my gender markers on my, ID, and some of them I've turned to F for female, and some of them I've turned to X, because X is cool.
Oh, and then there was tattooing on top of that, to get the nipples tattooed on, the colour. They quoted me $1,000 to go to a cosmetic tattooist. And I was like, no, going to the tattoo parlour.
Just go to King's Cross on a Saturday night after a few
Went to
gins.
LDF.
It is more expensive being a woman than it is being a man. We have to do things that guys don't have to do. Removal of hair, plastic surgery.
The wardrobe is just so expensive. I mean, look at all these diamonds and diamantes.
Got to have the right bag with the right outfit. so you've got to have more than one handbag.
This is where I need a husband who'll take me shopping. Oh my God, it's a nightmare.
Cost, employment, and living place are the three big barriers for transsexuals, because most of them are as poor as church mice. They can't afford it.
Like, I'm applying and getting knocked back for bank loans, which is not something I ever thought I would want to do.
But my breasts certainly help with that. I just flash my breasts and then I get all this money, people to throw money at me.
I just have to find that money. It's the only way to live.
How does sex work after your transition? Well, that's quite an intimate question.
It works really amazingly.
Should ask my girlfriend. She says it's really good. She really enjoys it. Did we just have sex?
Yes,
Is that what that
we
was?
did.
Well, for males to females, trans women, you hopefully get yourself a nice little pocket. It's where the penis can fit nicely.
Some surgeries aren't as successful as the other, or people don't look after what they've just had done in the correct manner.
If you've got a new vagina, you use it or you lose it. And if you don't use it, it gradually starts to tighten up and get smaller.
You do have to continually have sex to keep it all working, functioning fine. So that's a great thing.
I would say the only thing that changed is my sex drive kind of went up.
Testosterone enlarges the clitoris. So you basically, yeah, it's bigger.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why I like dating trans people. You know, I have a gender identity that perhaps doesn't match what my physical body is.
A proportion have good sex. Most, I think, have either bad sex or no sex. That's the sad truth, I think.
When do you tell someone that you're dating that you are trans?
That is quite difficult. Well, it depends.
I mean, I told them straight away.
Like, most people, you meet them and they kind of already know, like, either someone's told them or, like, you're out and we're not exactly quiet about it.
But there has been, like, one or two moments where somebody has communicated to me that they have been unsure. And I've always gone, that's interesting. That's a serious level of denial going on there.
I don't wait until we're, like, in a relationship.
I don't wait until I'm in bed with them and she's nude, and then I say, hey, guess what?
Surprise!
Because it's one of the most fundamental, important things about me. So if you're gonna know me at all, it's a pretty big thing to overlook. Otherwise you'll be like, why is this person just falling apart over putting on a t-shirt every morning?
If you do not disclose your trans status, in my opinion, it is a form of rape because they're not consenting to that object, so to speak, because if you're going to sleep with a female and not tell them you're trans, you are going to use a device because otherwise they're going to be very fucking disappointed.
I don't feel it's something that has to be said because you are the person that you have become. So if people don't know that you're transgender and they're having sex with you, it's not 100% necessary.
Well, sometimes you have to tell them because otherwise you have to explain to them why you're not getting pregnant.
I've dated people that I haven't told. I'm not sure why that is. That's actually interesting now you ask me that. It's probably something about the closeness of that not feeling quite there.
Yeah, I did have a wedding as such. It was like a commitment ceremony, and my partner at the time, I didn't originally tell him until many months down the track, and that was fine for both of us. Some people will never expose to the people that they are transgender, and they'll live like a full life without anyone ever knowing.
I think aspects of, of my features look incredibly masculine, and I'm never gonna pass. But that's okay. And sometimes it makes it easier for me because I'm not invisible. I don't want to be invisible. Do I look like I want to be invisible? No.
Have you ever thought, I wouldn't mind going back? Ha 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 ha.
Oh my God, never, please.
Oh, God, no.
No way.
Absolutely not.
No.
Just no.
I can hardly remember what it was like to be a guy.
I didn't do it very well the first time. I'm not going to do it the second time. I'm definitely not going back.
Yeah, ever. No.
I guess I feel a bit edgy about that question immediately because it's often used to kind of interrogate people who want to transition. Like, oh, but maybe you'll regret it.
Now, we have a 2-year trial period before any surgery is done. So you're on the hormones for 2 years. And the point of that trial period is to try and be sure that what you're doing is the right thing.
Do you really not think I've explored every possible way of looking at this? That has been an enormous struggle and ongoing kind of crisis.
It's a journey, and so it's always, always evolving.
So they might transition, detransition, and retransition. Some people can be rather indecisive about things.
I don't know what my gender identity will be tomorrow. I don't know what my sexuality will be tomorrow. What I've learned over life is that our sexuality and our gender identities, may be fluid.
My brother would like me to go back and still calls me Robert. I get these emails from him, Robert, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And I reply and I say, with much love, Rosie.
If someone's telling you in this moment that this is what they need to survive, why would you answer with, but don't you think one day you might regret it?
Definitely no regrets. I'm so much happier.
No, I wouldn't want to go back, for goodness sake. That'd be awful.
This is who I am,
100% happy.
and I'm celebrating that.
Couldn't be happier.